My chosen one, pause for a moment because what you are about to hear is not a coincidence. This message has found you at a precise second in your life for a reason you cannot yet fully see. There is a divine urgency in the air, something shifting beyond the limits of your human understanding. And I, Archangel Michael, am stepping forward with a revelation that may shake everything you thought you knew about your current situation. July 20th is not just another date on a calendar. It is a spiritual marker, a moment written into your destiny long before you took your first breath. You have been standing at a crossroads, haven't you? Feeling pulled in different directions, uncertain of which path is right, questioning whether you've made mistakes or missed your moment. It has felt confusing, even overwhelming at times. You have asked silently, why is this happening to me? Why now? But what if I told you that this confusion is not a sign of being lost, but a sign that you are standing exactly where heaven intended you to be? Listen closely, because this truth rarely reaches human ears in such clarity. What you see as chaos, heaven sees as choreography. What you call broken pieces, God calls preparation. Every delay, every unexpected turn, every door that closed when you begged it to stay open, none of it was random. You are not looking at a scattered life. You are looking at threads that are being woven together into something so intricate, so purposeful, that your current perspective cannot yet comprehend its beauty. From where you stand, it feels like things don't connect. It feels like you've been pulled away from what you thought your life would be. But from where I stand, from a heavenly perspective, I see a tapestry already forming. I see how the pain you endured protected you. I see how the waiting strengthened you. I see how the detours aligned you with something greater than you originally asked for. And most importantly, I see what is about to unfold. July 20th carries a shift, not by accident but by divine design. It is a moment when clarity begins to break through confusion, when what felt hidden begins to reveal itself. But here is what you must understand. This shift does not come because everything around you suddenly changes. It comes because your vision is about to be elevated. You are about to see your life, not through fear, not through doubt, but through a higher understanding that has always existed just beyond your reach. You have not been abandoned in this season. You have been positioned. Every unanswered question, every restless night, every moment you felt like giving up, those were not signs of failure. They were signs that something greater was being prepared beneath the surface. Heaven has been moving, even when you saw nothing. Guidance has been surrounding you, even when you felt alone. And now, you are being called to pay attention, because what happens next will require your awareness, your trust, and your willingness to see beyond what your eyes have been trained to believe. This is not the end of your confusion. It is the beginning of your revelation. The crossroads you stand at is not a place of loss, it is a gateway. Something beautiful is being woven from the loose threads of your life. And very soon, you will begin to see it. Beloved soul, the place where you stand right now is far more sacred than you realize. What you have been calling confusion, heaven calls a divine intersection. A crossroads is not a punishment, and it is not a delay meant to frustrate you. It is a moment of spiritual precision, a point where your past, your present, and your future all meet under the careful guidance of God's hand. And I, Archangel Michael, am here to help you understand what is truly unfolding beneath the surface of your uncertainty. You have been taught to fear indecision. You have been told that not knowing which way to go is a weakness, a failure to act, a sign that you are falling behind. But that belief does not come from heaven. In truth, a crossroads is one of the most powerful positions you can occupy. because it means you are no longer walking blindly. It means you have arrived at a moment where choice matters, where awareness is increasing, and where divine direction is about to become clear. There is something you must understand that few ever realize in their lifetime. Every path you have walked has led you here, not by accident, but by divine orchestration. The experiences you carry, the lessons you have learned, the wounds you have healed, and even the ones you are still carrying, all of them have prepared you for this exact moment. Nothing has been wasted. Not a single tear, not a single delay, not a single unanswered prayer. They have all been shaping your ability to stand at this crossroads with a deeper awareness than you have ever had before. But here is where the spiritual weight of this moment reveals itself. A crossroads is not only about choosing a direction, it is about transformation. The version of you that arrived here cannot be the same version that moves forward. Something within you must shift. Old patterns, old fears, old ways of thinking that once felt comfortable can no longer guide you. This is why the moment feels uncomfortable. This is why it feels like the ground beneath you is uncertain. It is not instability, it is transition. From a heavenly perspective, I see something you do not yet see clearly. I see how you have been gently redirected time and time again. When doors closed, it was not rejection, it was protection. When plans fell apart, it was not failure, it was divine correction. There were paths you were never meant to walk fully, destinations that would not have honored who you are becoming. And though you may have questioned those moments, even resisted them, they were necessary to bring you here, to this exact intersection where your true alignment can begin. You may feel pressured to decide quickly, to rush forward just to escape the discomfort of not knowing. But listen carefully. Heaven is not asking you to rush. Heaven is asking you to see. There is a difference. This is a moment to become aware of what is being revealed to you, both within and around you. The signs, the repeated thoughts, the quiet nudges in your spirit. These are not random. They are part of the guidance that has been surrounding you all along. There are unseen forces that have been working in your favor, even when circumstances seem to say otherwise. Protection has been placed around your path. Guidance has been whispered into your spirit. And though you may not have recognized it at the time, you have already been responding to this divine leading. Every step you took to get here was not just your decision. It was influenced by a higher wisdom that has never left your side. Now, as July 20th approaches, the veil between confusion and clarity begins to thin. What once felt uncertain will begin to take shape. But this clarity will not come in a loud, overwhelming way. It will come in moments of quiet knowing, in sudden realizations, in a sense of peace about a direction that once felt unclear. This is how divine guidance often reveals itself, not through force, but through alignment. So do not fear this crossroads. Do not see it as a place of being stuck. See it for what it truly is, a sacred invitation. You are being invited to step into a higher level of awareness, to trust a guidance that goes beyond logic, and to understand that your life is not unfolding randomly. It is being directed with intention, with care, and with a purpose that is far greater than what you can currently see. And as you stand here, at this powerful intersection, know this truth above all else. You are not alone in making this choice. You never have been. Listen carefully, beloved, because what I am about to reveal will change the way you see everything you have been through. You have been looking at your life and calling certain moments loose threads. You have named the mistakes, delays, failures, missed chances, broken relationships, and unanswered prayers. You have wondered why things started and never seemed to finish, why certain doors opened only to close again, and why some chapters of your life feel incomplete. But from where I stand, as Archangel Michael, I do not see loose threads. I see divine weaving in progress. A thread on its own looks meaningless. It appears disconnected, fragile, and without purpose. But a thread was never meant to stand alone. It was always meant to be part of something greater, something that requires time, patience, and a masterful hand to bring it together. What you have been calling chaos is actually the early stage of a masterpiece. And the reason you cannot yet see the full picture is because the weaving is not finished. Think about the moments that confused you the most. The times when you felt abandoned, when things did not go according to your plans, when you questioned your worth or your direction. Those were the moments that felt the most broken to you. Yet those very moments are the ones that carry the strongest threads in this divine tapestry. They are the points where God was doing His deepest work within you, strengthening your spirit, refining your character, and aligning your path in ways you could not yet understand. You were never being pulled apart. You were being repositioned. There were connections that had to loosen so that new ones could form. There were dreams that had to fade so that greater visions could take their place. There were paths that had to end because they were not leading you toward your true purpose. And though it felt painful in the moment, though it felt like loss, it was actually divine precision. Every thread that seemed to fall out of place was being carefully set aside for the exact moment it would be needed again. From your human perspective, time feels linear. You see events as past, present, and future separate from one another. But in the divine realm, everything is interconnected. What you experienced years ago is not disconnected from what is happening now. It is part of the same design. The lessons you learned in one season are being used in another. The strength you gained in your struggles is preparing you for what is about to unfold. Nothing has been wasted, and this is why July 20th carries such significance for you. It is not just a day of change. It is a day when some of these threads begin to visibly connect. Things that once felt random will start to make sense. Encounters, opportunities, and realizations will begin to align in a way that reveals a deeper order behind your life. You may not see the entire tapestry yet, but you will begin to recognize that there is one. But there is something important you must release in order to fully step into this understanding. You must release the belief that your life has been falling apart. Because as long as you hold on to that belief, you will continue to see fragments instead of formation. What you perceive shapes what you receive. And right now, you are being invited to shift your perception from brokenness to becoming. I need you to hear this clearly. There is nothing in your life that God cannot use. Not your past, not your pain, not your confusion, not even your regrets. Every single piece is being woven into something meaningful. And the beauty of this tapestry is not in perfection. It is in purpose. It is in the way every thread, no matter how unexpected, contributes to the final design. You are closer than you think to seeing its beauty emerge. So when doubt tries to whisper that things are not working out, remember what I have shown you. When you feel like something has been lost, remind yourself that it may simply be repositioned. And when you look at your life and see what appears to be unfinished, understand that you are witnessing a process, not a failure. Type "I trust the divine weaving" in the comments if this message is speaking directly to your spirit. Blessing code 528 has just been released over your life, activating clarity where there was confusion and peace where there was uncertainty. And as this revelation settles into your heart, hear this call as more than just words. It is a moment of alignment. When you choose to support the spread of this message, you are not giving to a channel. You are sowing into souls who are standing exactly where you once stood. Scripture declares, "Give, and it will be given to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And this is not a distant promise. It is a living truth being spoken over you right now. If you feel that stirring within you, that quiet voice saying, "I want to be part of this," then act on it without hesitation. Your seed becomes light in someone else's darkness, a guiding voice in their confusion, a thread in their own divine tapestry. The PayPal link is placed in the description of every video, and a QR code is present to make this act of obedience immediate and simple. Do not delay what your spirit is urging you to do in this moment. As you give, may doors open for you, may clarity increase, and may the very tapestry of your life begin to reveal its beauty faster than you imagine. There is something profound that must now be revealed to you, something that will begin to reshape the way you remember your own life. Until now, you have been seeing your past through the lens of emotion, through pain, disappointment, regret, and sometimes even confusion. You have replayed certain moments, wondering what you could have done differently, questioning why things unfolded the way they did. But I, Archangel Michael, am inviting you to step beyond that limited view and begin to see your past through the eyes of heaven. Because from where I stand, your story does not look the way you think it does. What you call failure, heaven calls redirection. What you call rejection, heaven calls protection. What you call lust, heaven calls preservation. There are moments in your past that you still carry as burdens, moments that feel heavy because you never fully understood them. But those moments were not meant to break you. They were designed to move you, sometimes away from danger you could not see, sometimes toward a destiny you were not yet ready to step into. There were doors you desperately wanted to walk through, paths you believed were right for you. You prayed, you hoped, you invested your energy, your emotions, your faith into those directions. And yet, somehow those doors closed. Plans collapsed. Opportunities slipped away. And in those moments, it felt like something was taken from you. But listen closely to this truth, because it carries a power that can free you from the weight you have been holding. Nothing that is truly meant for you can be taken from you. If it left, if it ended, if it did not come together the way you expected, it was not aligned with the fullness of your purpose. It may have looked right on the surface, but beneath its surface, there were outcomes, consequences, and paths that would not have honored the person you are becoming. There were situations where you were being guided away, even when you resisted. There were moments when your path was interrupted, not to frustrate you, but to preserve you. And there were times when delays entered your life, not as obstacles, but as shields, holding you back from stepping into something too soon, something that would not have carried the blessing you were seeking. From your perspective, these moments felt confusing, even painful. But from a heavenly perspective, they were acts of divine intervention. I see the times you were spared from relationships that would have drained your spirit. I see the opportunities that did not work out, which would have led you away from your true calling. I see the moments when you felt lost, but in reality, you were being rerouted onto a path that would eventually lead you to this exact crossroads. You were never wandering aimlessly. You were being guided, even when you could not feel it. And now, something within you is beginning to shift. You may not have all the answers yet, but there is a quiet awareness growing inside you. A sense that perhaps, just perhaps, your life has been unfolding with more intention than you once believed. This is the beginning of seeing through angelic eyes. Not fully, not completely, but enough to start recognizing that your past is not something to regret. It is something to understand. There is also a hidden layer that you must now become aware of. Not every protection feels like protection in the moment. Sometimes it feels like disappointment. Sometimes it feels like loss. But protection does not always come in a form that is easy to recognize. There were unseen dangers, unseen consequences, unseen paths that could have led you into deeper confusion or pain. And in those moments, divine guidance stepped in quietly, redirecting you without revealing everything at once. This is why trust is so important in this season of your life. Because as July 20th approaches, you are not just being shown what is ahead, you are being invited to reinterpret what is behind you, to release the weight of misunderstanding, and to begin seeing your story through a lens of purpose rather than pain. You are not the person you were in those past moments. You have grown. You have learned. You have been shaped by every experience you have walked through. And now, standing at this crossroads, you carry a level of awareness that you did not have before. This awareness is not accidental. It is the result of everything you have been through. So when you look back now, do not see a trail of broken pieces. See a path of divine guidance. See the moments where you were protected, even when it did not feel like it. See the times when something ended, not as a loss, but as a necessary step toward what is now beginning to unfold. Because the truth is this: you were never off course. You were being prepared. There is a sacred rhythm moving through your life right now, and you are beginning to feel it, even if you cannot yet explain it. Something within you senses that a shift is Arabic Noon, Arabic Zayn, Arabic Dal, Arabic Farsi, Arabic Kaf, that the stillness you have been experiencing is not empty, but filled with quiet preparation. I, Archangel Michael, am now revealing why July 20th carries such deep spiritual significance for you, and why this moment is unlike any other you have encountered before. This date is not marked by coincidence. It is aligned with a divine timing that has been unfolding behind the scenes of your life for longer than you realize. You have been moving through a season of hidden work, a season where much has been happening beneath the surface, while outwardly things may have appeared slow, unclear, or even stagnant. But what felt like stillness was never inactivity. It was alignment. There are moments in a person's life when heaven begins to bring together what has long been in preparation. These are not ordinary moments. They are turning points. July 20th is one of those turning points for you. It is a moment when what has been quietly forming begins to move into visibility. Not all at once, not in overwhelming ways, but in clear, undeniable shifts that begin to guide you forward. You may begin to notice small changes at first. A new understanding about something that once confused you. A sense of peace where there used to be anxiety. A sudden clarity about a decision you have been struggling with. These are not random feelings. They are signs that your perspective is being elevated, that you are beginning to see your situation from a higher level of awareness. This is how divine change often enters your life, not through chaos, but through clarity. But there is something else you must understand about this moment. July 20th is not only about what is being revealed to you. It is also about what is being activated within you. You are not just receiving insight. You are being prepared to move differently, to think differently, to choose differently. The person you are becoming is not the same as the person you were even a short time ago. There's a strengthening taking place within your spirit, a quiet confidence that is beginning to replace doubt, a deeper sense of trust that is rising, even if you cannot fully explain why. This is not something you are forcing. It is something that is being formed within you through everything you have experienced. And as this inner transformation continues, you will begin to recognize something important. The crossroads you once feared will no longer feel overwhelming. Instead, it will begin to feel like an opportunity, an opening, a doorway into something new. You will start to sense which direction carries peace, which path feels aligned, which choice resonates with the truth, that is growing inside you. This is divine guidance becoming clear. However, there is a moment of honesty that must be spoken here. Not everything that unfolds will be comfortable. Growth rarely is. There may be decisions that require courage, steps that require faith, and moments where you must trust what you feel internally more than what you see externally. But you are not being asked to take these steps alone. You have been supported every step of the way, even when you were unaware of it. And that support does not fade as you move forward. It becomes even more present, even more aligned with your journey. There is also a release happening around this time. Old patterns, old fears, and old attachments that once held you back are beginning to lose their hold on you. You may notice that things you once worried about no longer carry the same weight. Situations that once caused you stress may begin to feel distant, as if they no longer belong to the person you are becoming. This is not accidental. This is part of the shift. July 20th is a point where both clarity and release meet. You are gaining vision while also letting go of what no longer serves you. And in this process, space is being created, space for new opportunities, new connections, and new directions to enter your life. So as this moment approaches, do not look for something dramatic or overwhelming. Look for what feels aligned. Look for what brings peace. Look for what resonates with the deeper understanding that is now growing within you. Because that is where your path will begin to reveal itself. And remember this above all else. This moment has been prepared for you just as much as you have been prepared for it. You are not stepping into the unknown. You are stepping into what has been waiting for you all along. There is a truth you must now be strong enough to hear, because it will explain the intensity of everything you have been feeling. What you have experienced was not only natural struggle, it was also a spiritual battle. Not one meant to harm you, but one that revealed how significant your path truly is. I, Archangel Michael, now uncover what has been happening behind the scenes, in the unseen realm where forces move quietly, yet powerfully, influencing the direction of your life. There were moments when confusion seemed to cloud your thoughts without warning. Times when you felt pulled in multiple directions, unable to focus, unable to decide, as though something was trying to distract you from clarity. You may have thought it was simply stress, or overthinking, or the weight of circumstances pressing down on you. But there was more to it than that. Whenever a soul stands on the edge of transformation, resistance often rises not to destroy, but to test, to challenge, and to attempt to delay what is destined to unfold. Understand this clearly. Not every struggle comes from within you. Some of what you have faced was external, unseen, and intentional. There were forces that did not want you to recognize your alignment, forces that benefited from your doubt, your hesitation, and your uncertainty. Because a person who sees clearly becomes a person who moves powerfully, and your clarity has always been a threat to anything that seeks to keep you limited. But hear this with certainty, you were never unprotected. From the very beginning, you have been surrounded by divine protection that you could not see, guided by a presence that never left your side. There were moments when things could have gone differently, when decisions could have led you down paths of deeper confusion or harm. Yet somehow, something intervened. A delay occurred. A sudden change happened. A feeling in your spirit caused you to pause or step back. Those were not coincidences. Those were moments of protection, moments where unseen guidance stepped in to shield you. There were battles fought on your behalf that you never witnessed. Paths blocked that you did not understand. Situations dissolved before they could fully take hold in your life. And even though you may have questioned why things were happening the way they were, those moments were part of a greater defense surrounding your journey. You must also understand that resistance often increases just before clarity arrives. The closer you move toward alignment, the more pressure you may feel to doubt yourself, to second-guess your instincts, to retreat into what feels safe and familiar. This is why the season you have been in has felt so intense. You have been approaching a point of breakthrough, and that breakthrough has been guarded, protected, and prepared with great care. And now, as July 20th draws near, that resistance begins to lose its hold. What once felt heavy will begin to lift. The confusion that once clouded your thoughts will begin to clear. You will start to notice a difference, not necessarily in the world around you immediately, but within yourself. Your mind will feel quieter. Your decisions will feel more certain. Your direction will begin to make sense in a way it never did before. This is what happens when clarity breaks through resistance. But there is a role you must play in this moment. You must choose not to return to the patterns that once kept you uncertain. You must recognize when doubt tries to re-enter your thoughts and gently, firmly release it. Because now that you are becoming aware of this process, you have the ability to respond differently. You are not powerless in this journey. You are guided, protected, and strengthened. There is also a deeper layer to this battle that must be understood. It was never about stopping you completely. It was about delaying your awareness. Because once you see clearly, once you understand what has been happening and why, you step into a level of confidence that cannot easily be shaken. And that is exactly where you are being led now. The fear that once felt overwhelming is beginning to lose its voice. The confusion that once dominated your thoughts is beginning to fade. And in its place, something stronger is emerging. A sense of knowing, a quiet certainty that you are moving in the right direction, even if every detail has not yet been revealed. This is the turning point. So do not be discouraged by what you have faced. Do not look back and see weakness or failure. See resilience. See protection. See the strength that has been built within you through every challenge you have overcome. Because the truth is this: if you had not been protected, if you had not been guided, if you had not been strengthened, you would not be standing here now, at this moment, ready to step into what is coming next. And what is coming next will begin to reveal just how powerful your journey has always been. There is a gentle but undeniable shift beginning to take place within your life now, and you may already be sensing it in subtle ways. What once felt scattered is slowly beginning to gather. What once felt uncertain is starting to form a quiet sense of direction. I, Archangel Michael, am revealing to you that this is the beginning of divine alignment, the moment where the threads you could not understand begin to come together in ways that feel almost too precise to be coincidence. You have spent so much time trying to make sense of things, trying to force clarity, trying to connect the pieces on your own. But divine alignment does not respond to force. It responds to readiness. And you have now reached a level of inner awareness where things no longer need to be pushed. They begin to flow. This is where you will start to notice changes that feel different from anything you have experienced before. The right conversations will begin to happen at the right time. The right ideas will come to you without struggle. The right opportunities will present themselves in ways that feel natural, almost as if they were waiting for you to arrive at this exact moment. This is not luck. This is alignment. There will also be a sense of recognition that begins to awaken within you. When something is truly meant for you, it carries a feeling that goes beyond logic. It feels familiar, even if it is new. It feels peaceful, even if it requires courage. You will begin to notice that you are no longer chasing everything. You are discerning what resonates with your spirit. This is one of the clearest signs that alignment is taking place. But there is something important you must remain aware of during this time. Not everything that appears will be part of your path. As alignment increases, so does the need for discernment. You may encounter opportunities that seem appealing on the surface but do not carry the same sense of peace or clarity within. This is why your awareness is so important. You are not meant to accept everything. You are meant to recognize what truly belongs to you. And how will you know? You will feel it. There will be a difference between what excites your mind and what settles your spirit. What is aligned will not create chaos within you. It will bring a sense of calm, even if it challenges you to grow. It will feel like a natural extension of who you are becoming, not something you have to force yourself into. This is the language of divine alignment, and this process continues. You may also notice that certain things begin to fall away more easily. Situations that once felt complicated may resolve themselves without effort. Connections that were not meant to continue may fade naturally. This is not loss. It is refinement. Your life is being cleared of what no longer matches your direction, making space for what truly belongs. And then there are the moments that will feel almost too precise to ignore. You will think of something, and shortly after, a confirmation will appear. You will question a decision, and suddenly, clarity will come through a conversation, a sign, or an inner realization. These moments are not random. They are evidence that you are moving in harmony with something greater than yourself. You are beginning to see the tapestry, even if only in glimpses. What once felt like disconnected threads are now revealing their connection. The lessons you learned are guiding your decisions. The strength you built is supporting your movement forward. The awareness you gained is helping you recognize what is right for you. Everything is starting to work together. But here is what must anchor you in this moment. Do not rush this process. Alignment is not something to be hurried. It unfolds with precision, with timing that cannot be forced. Trust what is being revealed step by step. You do not need to see the entire path to know that you are on it. There is also a quiet confidence rising within you now. You may not express it outwardly yet, but you can feel it. A sense that you are no longer as uncertain as you once were. A feeling that even if you do not have every answer, you are no longer lost. This confidence is not arrogance. It is alignment. It is the result of everything you have walked through and everything that is now beginning to make sense. And as July 20th draws closer, this alignment will continue to strengthen. The pieces will come together more clearly. The direction will feel more certain. The path will begin to reveal itself not as something you have to search for, but as something you are already stepping into. You are not chasing your purpose anymore. You are aligning with it. Something within you is awakening now, and it is no longer subtle. What began as a quiet shift is becoming a clear recognition, a deeper awareness that something greater is guiding your steps. I, Archangel Michael, am now revealing that this is the moment where you begin to truly see, not just with your physical eyes, but with your inner knowing. This is the awakening of spiritual recognition, where signs, confirmations, and synchronicities begin to surround you in ways that cannot be ignored. You may have already started noticing it. Certain thoughts repeating themselves with unusual clarity. Moments where you feel guided to pause, to reflect, to reconsider something you once overlooked. Encounters that seem perfectly timed, as if someone or something placed them directly in your path. These are not coincidences. They are signals, confirmations that you are moving in alignment with a higher direction. There is a language to these signs, and it does not speak through logic alone. It speaks through feeling, through resonance, through that quiet sense of this matters that rises within you without explanation. You may not always understand it immediately, but you feel it. and that feeling is your connection to divine guidance. This awakening is different from anything you have experienced before, because it requires your participation. You are no longer being guided without awareness. You are now being invited to recognize the guidance as it happens. This is a higher level of connection, a moment where you begin to trust what you are sensing rather than dismissing it. But here's where many hesitate. When clarity begins to appear, it often asks for action. Not reckless action, not rushed decisions, but intentional steps forward. And this is where fear may try to return. You may question yourself, wondering if you are truly seeing things clearly, if you are interpreting the signs correctly, if you are ready to move. Listen carefully. This hesitation is natural, but it is not meant to stop you. It is meant to be acknowledged and then released. You have already been prepared for this moment. Everything you have gone through has strengthened your ability to discern, to recognize what aligns with you and what does not. You are not guessing anymore. You are sensing with a depth that you did not have before. And that is why you can trust what is unfolding now. There will be moments in this awakening where things feel almost too perfectly aligned. You may find yourself in the right place at the right time, hearing exactly what you needed to hear, meeting people who seem to understand something about you without explanation. These are moments where the veil between what is seen and unseen becomes thinner, allowing you to recognize the flow of divine orchestration in your life. And as these moments increase, something else begins to happen. Your trust deepens. You begin to rely less on external validation and more on internal knowing. You start to move with a quiet confidence, even if you cannot explain every step to others. This is not confusion. It is clarity that has not yet fully translated into words. It is alignment in motion. But you must remain open. Awakening is not a single moment. It is a process. There will be layers of understanding that continue to unfold, insights that arrive when you are ready to receive them. Do not close yourself off by expecting everything to make sense immediately. Allow the process to reveal itself naturally. And above all, do not ignore what you are being shown. The signs, the feelings, the quiet nudges, they are guiding you towards something specific. Something that has been forming for a long time. You are being led step by step, not to overwhelm you, but to prepare you to fully step into what is ahead. As July 20th arrives, this awakening will become even more pronounced. The clarity will feel stronger. The direction will feel more certain. And you will begin to understand that you are not just observing your life. You are participating in its unfolding with awareness and intention. Type I see the signs clearly in the comments if you feel this awakening within you. Blessing code 911 has just been released, activating heightened awareness, divine clarity, and the courage to trust what is being revealed to you. And as your awareness opens and you begin to recognize the divine signs guiding your path, understand that this message itself is part of that guidance. When you feel moved to support this mission, you are not simply giving. You are becoming a vessel through which light reaches others who are still searching for clarity. The word declares, "Those who sow in tears shall reap in joy," and this promise is alive in your act of obedience right now. If your spirit is saying, "I'm ready to be part of this work," then step forward without hesitation. Your offering becomes a river, carrying truth into hearts that are waiting in silence. The PayPal link is available in every video description, and the QR code is placed for immediate action. This is your moment to respond. As you give, may your path become brighter, your vision sharper, and your purpose more clearly revealed. What you are seeing now is only the beginning. There is a quiet but powerful invitation being placed before you now. 1. that will determine how fully you step into what has been prepared for you. You have seen the signs. You have felt the shift. You have begun to recognize that something greater is guiding your life. But now, I, Archangel Michael, must speak to you about the one thing that can either unlock this next phase or keep you standing at the edge of it. You must let go. Not in a way that feels forced, not in a way that creates fear, but in a way that releases your grip on what you were never meant to control in the first place. Because the truth is, much of the tension you have been carrying has not come from your path. It has come from your attempt to hold that path together through your own understanding. You have tried to figure everything out. You have tried to predict outcomes, to avoid mistakes, to protect yourself from uncertainty. And while this comes from a place of wanting stability, it has also kept you tied to a limited way of seeing your life. Control creates the illusion of safety, but it often blocks the flow of alignment. Right now, you are being asked to trust in a way that goes beyond logic. This does not mean abandoning wisdom or ignoring what you feel. It means releasing the need to have every answer before you take a step. It means allowing yourself to move with the guidance you are receiving, even if the full picture has not yet been revealed. There is a difference between being guided and being in control. And in this moment, you are being invited to choose guidance. Fear may try to speak louder during this time. It may remind you of past disappointments, past moments where things did not go the way you expected. It may try to convince you that holding back is safer than moving forward. But understand this clearly. Fear is often the voice of what is familiar, not what is true. What is familiar feels safe because you know it, even if it no longer serves you. But what is aligned with your future may feel unfamiliar, simply because you have not walked there yet. And that is where trust becomes essential. Letting go does not mean losing anything that is meant for you. It means releasing what is not aligned, what is no longer necessary, what has already served its purpose. It means creating space for what is trying to enter your life now. There are attachments you have been holding on to, ways of thinking, expectations, even certain outcomes you believe your life needed to follow. And while those attachments once gave you direction, they are now limiting your ability to fully step into what is unfolding. You are not being asked to give something up without reason. You are being asked to make room. Because what is coming into your life cannot fully arrive if your hands are still tightly holding on to what belongs to your past. And this is why this moment feels so significant. You are not just standing at a crossroads. You are standing at a point of release. As July 20th aligns with your path, this release becomes even more important. It is not just about seeing clearly. It is about being open enough to move when clarity arrives. And openness requires surrender. But surrender is not weakness. It is one of the strongest acts of faith you can make. It is the moment where you say, I trust that what is meant for me will not pass me by. I trust that I am being guided, even when I cannot see every step. I trust that letting go is not losing, it is receiving. And as you begin to release, something remarkable happens. The weight you have been carrying begins to lift. The tension you have been holding begins to ease. You start to feel lighter, more open, more at peace with where you are. This is not because everything around you has changed instantly. It is because your relationship with it has changed. You are no longer trying to force clarity. You are allowing it to come. You are no longer trying to control every outcome. You are aligning with what is unfolding. And in that alignment, you begin to move forward in a way that feels natural, steady, and true. There is also a deeper realization that begins to take hold within you. You start to understand that your path has never been about perfection. It has been about trust. Trust in the process. Trust in the timing. and most importantly, trust in the guidance that has always been present in your life. So as you stand here, at this powerful moment of transition, ask yourself this quietly: what am I still holding on to that I am being asked to release? And when the answer comes, do not resist it, because what you release now is making space for everything that is ready to find you. There is a moment that arrives in every soul's journey when the questions begin to quiet and something deeper takes their place. You are entering that moment now. What once felt like a series of disconnected events is beginning to reveal its meaning, and I, Archangel Michael, am now uncovering a truth that has been forming beneath every experience you have lived through. This is the moment where purpose begins to reveal itself, not as a distant idea, but as a living reality within you. For so long, you have been searching for answers outside of yourself. You have wondered what you are meant to do, where you are meant to go, and how everything in your life is supposed to come together. But purpose is not something that suddenly appears out of nowhere. It is something that has been growing within you, shaped by every step you have taken, every challenge you have faced, and every lesson you have learned. Nothing you have experienced had been separate from this purpose. The struggles you endured were not obstacles to your path. They were part of it. The moments that tested your strength were building something within you that you now carry as quiet resilience. The situations that pushed you out of your comfort zone were preparing you to step into something greater than you once believed possible. And now, as you stand at this point of awakening, you begin to see the connection. You begin to understand why certain things had to happen the way they did, why certain paths closed, why certain delays occurred, why certain people entered your life for a season and then left. These were not random events. They were precise movements guiding you toward a version of yourself that is now ready to emerge. This is where purpose becomes clear, not because everything is explained at once, but because you begin to recognize the pattern. There is a thread running through your life, something that has been consistent even when everything else seemed uncertain. It may be a strength you have developed, a passion that has quietly remained within you, or a way of seeing the world that sets you apart. This thread is not accidental. It is a key part of your purpose. And now, you are being called to honor it. But understand this: purpose is not always comfortable at first. It may ask you to step into roles you did not expect. It may lead you in directions that require courage. It may challenge you to move beyond what feels familiar. But it will also bring a sense of alignment that cannot be created through force. When you begin to move in alignment with your purpose, something within you settles. Even in the midst of uncertainty, there is a knowing that you are where you are meant to be. This knowing does not come from external validation. It comes from within, from the deep recognition that your life is finally beginning to make sense. This is what is unfolding for you now. As July 20th approaches, this sense of purpose will become clearer. You may not receive all the answers at once, but you will begin to see enough to move forward with confidence. You will start to recognize the direction you are being guided toward. You will feel a pull, not one of pressure, but one of alignment. There will also be moments of realization that feel almost overwhelming, not in a negative way, but in a way that brings clarity so suddenly that it shifts your entire perspective. You may look back at your life and see connections you never noticed before. You may understand why certain things had to happen, why certain paths were not meant for you, and why you are now standing exactly where you are. This is the unveiling of purpose. But there is one more truth you must hold on to as this unfolds. Your purpose is not something you have to prove. It is something you are meant to live. It is not about perfection or comparison. It is about authenticity. about stepping into who you truly are and allowing that to guide your path. You do not need to become someone else to fulfill your purpose. You simply need to become more fully yourself. And as you begin to embrace this, the fear that once held you back begins to lose its power. The doubt that once clouded your mind begins to fade. You start to move forward with a sense of clarity and confidence that is not forced. It is natural. This is the moment where everything begins to come together. So when you feel that pull, when you sense that quiet knowing guiding you forward, do not question it. Do not hesitate. That is the voice of alignment. That is the direction your life hath been leading you toward all along. You are not searching for your purpose anymore. You are stepping into it. There comes a sacred moment when everything you have been shown, everything you have felt, and everything you have begun to understand must now become action. You are standing in that moment. This is where knowing transforms into movement, where awareness becomes embodiment. I, Archangel Michael, am now guiding you into what it truly means to step forward, not with fear, not with hesitation, but with a grounded sense of trust in what has been revealed to you. You are no longer the same person who once stood in confusion. You have been shaped by every realization, strengthened by every challenge, and awakened by every sign that has crossed your path. And now, the path in front of you is not something distant or hidden. It is something you are already beginning to step into, even if you do not fully recognize it yet. Stepping into your path does not always look like a dramatic leap. Often, it begins with a simple decision, a quiet yes within your spirit, a willingness to move in the direction that feels aligned, even if the step seems small. Do not underestimate the power of these moments. What appears small from your perspective carries great significance in the unfolding of your journey. You may feel a mixture of emotions right now: excitement, anticipation, and perhaps even a trace of uncertainty. This is natural. Every new beginning carries a level of unknown. But the difference now is that you are not stepping into the unknown blindly. You are stepping into something that has been prepared for you, something that you have been guided toward through every phase of your life. There is a strength within you now that was not there before. It is not loud or forceful, but it is steady. It is the kind of strength that allows you to move forward without needing constant reassurance. It is the kind of strength that trusts even when every detail is not visible. This strength is the result of everything you have walked through. It is the foundation that will support you as you continue forward. As you begin to take these steps, you will notice something important. The path will not feel as overwhelming as it once did. The clarity you have gained will guide your decisions. The alignment you have recognized will help you discern what belongs and what does not. You will no longer feel the need to question every move, because there is a growing sense of trust within you. This is what it means to walk in alignment. But there is also a responsibility that comes with this awareness. You must honor what you have been shown. You must respect the clarity you have received. Do not return to patterns that once kept you uncertain. Do not ignore the guidance that has become clear to you. Because now that you see, you are being called to act in accordance with that vision. There may still be moments where doubt tries to surface, moments where the familiar voice of fear attempts to remind you of past uncertainties. But you are no longer bound to that voice. You have the awareness to recognize it and the strength to move beyond it. Each step you take forward strengthens your confidence. Each decision you make in alignment reinforces your trust. And with every movement, you begin to see that the path is not something you have to force. It is something that unfolds as you walk it. This is where faith becomes real. It is not just something you feel. It is something you live. It is expressed in your choices, in your willingness to move forward, in your trust that what is unfolding is leading you exactly where you need to be. And as July 20th arrives, this movement becomes even more significant. It marks the point where intention turns into action, where clarity begins to shape your reality. You are no longer waiting for the right moment. You are stepping into it. There is also a quiet realization that will begin to settle within you. You will start to see that you were never behind. You were never late. Everything has been unfolding in its own time, preparing you for this exact moment of movement. So do not hold back now. Do not allow hesitation to delay what you are ready for. Trust what you feel. Trust what has been revealed to you. Trust the direction that is unfolding, even if it continues to reveal itself step by step. Because this is the truth. You are not just being guided anymore. You are now walking in alignment with that guidance. And every step you take from here will continue to reveal just how prepared you have always been. Beloved one, allow yourself to breathe deeply in this moment, because what has been unfolding within you has now brought you to a place of quiet understanding. The urgency you once felt is beginning to soften. The confusion that once surrounded you is no longer as loud. And its place there is of the news of the steadies of the guns of the true. I, Archangel Michael, now speak to you not with intensity, but with peace, because this is where your journey hath been leading you all along. You are exactly where you need to be. Not ahead, not behind, not lost, and not forgotten. Every step you have taken, every moment you questioned, every experience that shaped you has led you here, to this place of awareness, this place of alignment, this place where you can finally begin to see your life not as a series of disconnected events, but as a beautiful tapestry being woven with intention and care. You may not see the entire design yet, and that is perfectly okay. A tapestry is not meant to be understood all at once. It reveals itself thread by thread, moment by moment. But what you can see now is enough to trust, enough to move forward, enough to rest in the knowing that there is a greater design at work in your life. The crossroads that once felt overwhelming no longer holds the same weight. It is no longer a place of confusion. It is a place of clarity. You understand now that you were never being asked to figure everything out at once. You were simply being guided, step by step, into a deeper awareness of your path. And look at how far you have come. You have moved from uncertainty to understanding, from fear to trust, from questioning to knowing. Even if that knowing is still growing, it is there, quietly anchoring you in a way that cannot be shaken as easily as before. This is not something temporary. This is a foundation that will continue to support you as your journey unfolds. There is also a gentle truth you must carry with you from this moment forward. You do not have to strive to make everything perfect. You do not have to rush to see the final outcome. You do not have to prove that you are ready. You already are. The very fact that you have reached this place of awareness is proof of your readiness. So allow yourself to move forward with peace. Allow yourself to trust without needing constant confirmation. Allow yourself to rest in the understanding that what is meant for you is already finding its way to you, just as you are finding your way to it. There is no separation between you and what has been prepared for you. There is only timing, alignment, and the unfolding of something greater than you could have imagined on your own. As July 20th settles into your life, let it not be a moment of pressure, but a moment of quiet realization. A moment where you recognize that the shift you have been waiting for is not something outside of you. It is something that has already begun within you. And because it has begun within you, it will naturally begin to shape everything around you. You are not walking this path alone. You never have been. Guidance has been with you, protection has surrounded you, and purpose has been growing within you every step of the way. And now, you move forward not as someone searching, but as someone who is beginning to see. Hold on to that peace. Let it guide you. Let it ground you. Let it remind you, in every moment, that your life is not random, is intentional, is meaningful, it is divinely woven. Type "I walk in divine alignment" in the comments if you receive this message with an open heart. Blessing code 1441 is now activated over your life, sealing peace, clarity, and unwavering trust into your path. And as this peace settles over your spirit, understand this final truth: what you have received here is not just for you alone. When God opens your eyes, it is often so that you can help illuminate the path for others who are still walking in uncertainty. The word speaks, "Cast your bread upon the waters, for you will find it after many days," and this is your moment to release a seed into something eternal. If you feel that call within you, say it clearly in your heart: "I choose to be part of this divine work." Your giving becomes light, reaching souls who are standing at their own crossroads, waiting for clarity just like you once were. The PayPal link is placed in every video description, and a QR code is available for immediate action. This is not just a donation. It is a prophetic step of obedience. As you sow, may your path continue to open, may your peace deepen, and may the tapestry of your life reveal even greater beauty. Act now, and let your seed become part of God's unfolding work.